danger that we can't forget about, even in times like these, is gun violence. And one of the most outspoken voices in getting guns off the streets is battle rapper, activist, and Missouri State Representative Bruce Franks Jr. He's the subject of a documentary titled St. Louis Superman, airing tonight at 6 p.m. on VH1, MTV, and MTV2. He joins us now to discuss his efforts. Bruce, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for what you're doing. And first of all, there's a very personal story and very personal reason you decided to get in on the fight against gun violence in the first place.
Yes, in 1991, my brother Christopher Harris, he was killed June 7th. I was 6 years old, he was 9 years old. Two men came out the house arguing. One put out a gun, the other one picked my brother up and used him as a human shield. In my life, I've been to over 200 funerals, losing my closest friends, family, and even youth I mentor in my city to gun violence. So yes, it's extremely personal.
I cannot imagine what it was like to have gone through that. Of course, I'm so sorry for your loss, but you have turned tragedy truly into something inspirational for many people. You know, of course, in 2014, though, the Ferguson protests happened. It was a tragic time, not only in Missouri's history, but of course the country as a whole, and for race relations, for perceptions of law enforcement, et cetera. So how did that tragedy affect your mission?
August 9, 2014 changed my life. I was a total different person. August 8, 2014. Never did I know what was about to happen. And when it happened, it was a wake-up call. It was a horrible gut punch for so many of us. My son was turning 1 on the day that Michael Brown was killed. Michael Brown's body laid in the street for 4.5 hours. That was the powder keg that blew. And when we went out there, many of us became activists. We became organizers. We didn't know what we were doing a lot of the times, but we knew we had to make our voices heard one way or the other. And eventually we started to organize, and we started to, start programs and create programs. And eventually after that, the community asked me to run for office. They pushed me to run for office, and I accepted. Although I wasn't that civically engaged before or didn't believe in the process, I believed in representing my people.
Right. As a result of that, so many lives have been touched. You've really been an inspiration to many, hence the nickname St. Louis Superman. Again, that's the title of the documentary. It's a very special story, a heartbreaking story, and we thank you so much for sharing it. There's so much more we could discuss, but thank you so much for your time today.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
And be sure to watch Bruce's inspiring story in the documentary St. Louis Superman, airing tonight at 6 p.m. on VH1, MTV, and MTV2. You're watching The Morning Blend. We'll be right back.